Hey everybody, it's news time. One of the benefits of being locked in at home because of the shutdown going on here in the Bay Area is that I've had a lot of time to read news and share it with all of you. And one of the big headlines that we've had lately is that a ton of information has, unfortunately, or fortunately for the rest of us, leaked out of Toyota about their upcoming product plans. And boy, we do have a lot of interesting information here. The first one is the hotly expected Toyota Sienna. We're going to see it this fall, and it should be on sale as a 2021 model year vehicle. Now, seeing it this fall and being on sale for 2021 probably means that we'll see it either shortly before or right at the LA Auto Show. Probably won't drive it until maybe December or January, and then it'll be on sale shortly around that time. So expect that in calendar year 2021 as well. The big news for the Sienna is that it's going all hybrid. Now that's not too much of a surprise because Toyota seems to be really aggressive at reducing their overall greenhouse emissions as a brand, and one of the ways they're going to be doing that is by debuting a ton of new hybrid models across their lineup. We don't really know any details, of course, so I'm just going out on a limb here and guessing, but I suspect it's probably going to be getting a variant of the Highlander's hybrid system, which is, of course, also related to the one in the RAV4. That means that I wouldn't be at all surprised if we continue seeing an all-wheel drive Sienna, although it's probably going to be one of their all-wheel drive systems, because up until this point, we don't have a traditional all-wheel drive system with their front-wheel drive hybrid setup. The next thing that we've heard is that we're going to be getting a new crossover, likely called the Venza. I suspect this is going to be essentially a two-row version of the Toyota Highlander. Pretty much everybody out there has been making two-row versions of their three-row crossovers, from the new Atlas Cross Sport to the Passport to the Ford Edge, etc. So it's only a matter of time till Toyota gives us one. That is probably going to be coming right around the same time. So expect that to be on sale probably sometime in January of 2021. Next up, and this is a little bit old news, but we are also getting the new Toyota Mirai hydrogen sedan. There are a lot of details still to come on the Mirai, but we do know that it's going to be based on a short wheelbase Lexus LS platform. It's going to be rear wheel drive, not front wheel drive. It's going to be an awful lot more attractive on the inside and outside and more fun to drive. Admittedly, those last two are pretty low bars to jump over. But we also know that it's going to be giving us over 400 miles of range, and it seems that Toyota is going to be more aggressive at helping deploy hydrogen stations in California. The hydrogen station network in California is completely separate from any manufacturer. It's being developed by Shell, by True Zero, etc., and station layout is not very well coordinated. Hopefully that will change in the future. But moving along, in summer of 2021, so now we're talking more than a full year away, we are finally going to be getting a Toyota 86 refresh, also known as the Subaru BRZ. Now we're not getting an all-new model. I was actually a little bit surprised that it's not being completely redesigned and that it's not being canceled. So not only has it not been canceled, we're going to get a refreshed one, and we're going to get a new turbocharged engine, probably around 255 horsepower, and we're told to expect a substantially better interior. Next, in 2021, we're also going to be seeing a new Toyota Corolla crossover. We have no idea what that will be like, but expect that to possibly replace or augment the CHR. Maybe the CHR might move up or down in the lineup, and the Toyota Corolla will be right there instead. I wouldn't be too surprised if it replaced the CHR with something that was perhaps a little bit more Toyota hatchback, perhaps even mini RAV4, perhaps something along those lines. But again, no details on that one. We do know then later that the Camry refresh is coming in 2021 as well, with a redesign slated for 2024. Then the Avalon will continue living on until its refresh in 2022. So any rumors of Avalon being canceled because of relatively slow sales definitely seem to be a little bit early. Then in the truck lineup, we have some big news here, and not all of it is going to make everybody happy out there, but the Tundra is going to be going first. That surprises me a little bit because the Tundra is by no means the best seller in Toyota's truck lineup. That obviously would be the Tacoma, but the Tacoma is actually going to be last in the refresh cycle here. So at the end of 2021, so likely not on sale till 2022, a little bit later than expected, we're going to get an all-new Tundra on an all-new rear-wheel drive platform. That same platform is going to be used for all of their body-on-frame vehicles, from the Tundra to the Sequoia, the 4Runner, and even the Tacoma. That's kind of surprising because no other manufacturer out there tries to do too much product sharing between their full-size truck and their compact truck. Now the big news is that we're not going to be getting a V8 anymore in the Toyota Tundra. It's going to be a twin-turbo V6, possibly a twin-turbo V6 hybrid, or a standalone naturally aspirated hybrid. We don't know all the details there just yet. But I suspect this is most likely going to be related to the hybrid system and the twin-turbo V6 engine that we find in the Lexus lineup. The hybrid system that we find under the hood of the Lexus LS sedan at the moment is a pretty novel concept because it combines a stepped automatic transmission with some of Toyota and Lexus's hybrid componentry, and it allows a much higher output in terms of overall engine horsepower and torque than we find in some of their other hybrid systems. It also likely allows high towing ability, and that's probably what we're going to find under the hood of the Tundra. Now on the downside, we don't have any specific dates about when the Sequoia or the 4Runner are going to get a refresh or a redesign, but we do know that the Tacoma is not expected until 2024. So if you've been hoping for a new Tacoma and your old Tacoma is on its last leg, just go out and buy the new Tacoma because it's going to be probably about 4 years until we find that new model. That's likely why the Tacoma got more of a refresh this last time around. Moving on to Lexus, there are some big surprises here. The first one is that we're not going to find a V8 engine in any Lexus under $90,000, we're told. So everything is going more modern with twin-turbo engines, etc. The other surprise here is that the Lexus IS, which had some rumors swirling around whether the IS and GS would be canceled or perhaps combined, we now know the IS appears to be sticking around, and we're going to be seeing a new one in 2021. Interestingly enough, and this is the big twist, with a BMW engine under the hood. That will really be interesting to see how that goes. Likely the same engine and same arrangement that we see in the Toyota Supra is going to be helping us get a new inline-six turbocharged engine in a Lexus IS. I really like the first generation of the Lexus IS, and perhaps this will be dialing the clock back a little bit for that. The next surprising thing here is that the Lexus will sort of die and sort of live on, depending on exactly how you want to look at this. Instead of a gasoline or hybrid Lexus GS, we're going to have a new model inserted in its place that's going to be a rear-wheel drive hydrogen vehicle based off of the Toyota Mirai, which is of course based off of a Lexus LS. So we'll have the long wheelbase Lexus LS, that will be the traditional flagship sedan from Lexus. Then we're going to have a smaller version that's going to be a hydrogen vehicle, and this one I'm really intrigued by, because I've always kind of wondered why we didn't have a hydrogen Lexus to begin with. The price tag on hydrogen vehicles is pretty high, so I've always wondered, why is the Clarity not an Acura? Why is the Nexo not a Genesis? And why is the Mirai not a Lexus? And now it appears that we have an answer to that. The next thing we know is that the Lexus LS and ES are going to continue living on. They're getting a refresh in 2022, right around the same time that we're going to see a refresh of the Avalon. Next thing coming down in 2023 is a redesign of the RX, the NX, and the GX at the same time. Now, we don't know too much about that, but I wouldn't be surprised if those three SUVs ended up being very closely related to one another. We could see something right along the lines of the compact, midsize, and a larger midsize three-row crossover, but obviously details are still sketchy. The LX and the Land Cruiser, however, we do know are not going to be sister ships anymore. So instead of being incredibly close together in terms of overall pricing and capability, they're going to be split further apart. So the Lexus model is going to get a much higher quality interior than we find in the Land Cruiser. It's going to get a twin-turbo V6 engine, probably a twin-turbo V6 hybrid. And then the Land Cruiser is going to have more of a basic appearance, more of a basic interior, likely going to be less expensive than the one that we find right now in the US. Hopefully it will return to some of its original roots as a more attainable, more affordable go-anywhere vehicle. At the moment, that's all the news that we have out of Toyota, so be sure and stay tuned because I will update you just as soon as we have any further detail. And of course, hopefully I'll be driving all of these vehicles just as soon as we can possibly get our hands on them. In the meantime, be sure and hit that subscribe button down there if you haven't already done so. Be sure and check on notifications. I hear from a lot of you out there that notifications have been disabled, so be sure and make sure your notifications are on. If you want to go find out what we're driving right now, you can head over to facebook.com/AlexandAutos. You can find us over at Instagram, over at Twitter, all those other social things, and I will see you all next week.